Hey everybody, this is Mike coming at you from north central North Carolina, out here on Lake Norman this morning. I'm basically what they call the Piedmont section of North Carolina. There's Piedmonts all over the world, more or less where the mountains and the foothills end and the flatlands start. The city of Charlotte's about 30 miles south of me. This lake, along with 5 others, was created between 1959 and 1964 through a series of dams on the Catawba River. The first lake, Lake James, is more or less up in the mountains. And then there's Roadhiss, Hickory, Lookout Shoals, Norman, where we're at now, and Lake Wylie below us. There's a nuclear power plant on one end, and there's a coal-fired generating plant, which we're heading that way, called Marshall Steam Station. And of course, it's named after the Catawba Indians. The river was. They lived around here for 6,000 years. When the lake's real low, you can find broken bits of pottery and arrowheads and stuff like that. It's got your basic fish for around here. You know, your catch, your blue, your channel cat, your flathead. Largemouth do real well. They have several largemouth tournaments here every year. Striped bass, stripers used to be really good fishing here. They would have to stock them every year. Striped bass eggs are a little bit different than other fish eggs. They got to have so many miles of free-flowing river to mature. They kind of roll down river and mature at the same time, and the river section of this lake wasn't long enough for them to mature. They never really got real big. I mean, an 8 to 10 pound striper was big for this lake. They had to be over 20 inches, and you could only keep 4 for years and years. The stripers in the spring would make their spawning run up to the dam, and we'd fish up there in the tail races, live bait fishing. There'd be so many shad up there, big schools of shad swimming along the walls of the dam. You could just take your dip net and dip you out of the bait. Fish what we call a Carolina rig with a leader and an egg sinker, maybe 1 ounce, and a bait hook. Trying to keep it out of the rocks, but keep your line in touch with the bait. Well, the striper population, it pretty much crashed in the late 80s, early 90s. Big fish kills, so they started stocking hybrids. Hybrid's a mix between a white bass and a striped bass. This lake's so big, it supplies like 4 counties with water, and the city of Charlotte also. It was real foggy this morning. I mean, it's like 11:30 now, and the fog just lifted 30 minutes ago. I know the sky looks blown out, but that's actually how the sky looked. Sun's supposed to come out later, but I got tired of waiting. It's not a far drive, maybe an hour and a half, but too far to drive home and come back in the same day. They built this steam station in 1965. They say it can produce 2,000 megawatts a day, which is estimated to be like 2 million homes, supply 2 million homes with power. They put new scrubbers on it in the late 90s, and it's supposed to have some of the lowest emissions for a coal-fired plant in the nation, but you still have the coal ash to deal with. They'll take that coal ash and they'll put it in these plastic-lined pits, which is okay unless something bad happens, and it can contaminate, fresh water. But anyway, you're not allowed to fly over the station, but we'll get as close as we can. I'm kind of looks like I'm over the road, but really I'm running alongside of it. It's just hazy and foggy out. I'm actually on the other side of the lake, standing in a parking lot at a restaurant on top of a hill, and the steam station's about eye level with me. It kind of sits on a hill also. I hope everybody's doing all right and your states are opening back up. I was glad to get a haircut about I guess it's been 3 weeks ago this weekend. Best haircut I ever had in my life. I needed one before the virus hit, so I was starting to look like a hippie. But I hope everybody else is able to get out and make some plans and go somewhere. When you're flying FPV, everything always seems closer than it actually is. I could have got a little bit closer, but I stopped short. You know, like when you're flying over trees, and you know the tallest tree around, what, 80, 90 feet, but they always seem, oh, those are close, I need to go higher. But you really don't, you know. I can barely see the drone. The fog's like lifted up into the clouds. But I'm watching the screen also, of course. You can see off there to the right, and I'll pan, there's a giant pile of coal right there. Actually, I was really irritated because at the beginning of this video, I had 4 really good boat chasing scenes. And somehow I deleted the original files when I was trying to make this video, and they're gone. First time I've ever done that. And I wasn't too happy about it. I had one, well, I shouldn't say because you can't see him anyway. I was chasing a boat, and I was surprised that they did see me. And I could tell they kicked it down. They were planing off. But I hadn't hit sport mode yet. And when I hit sport mode, I just buzzed right over the top and was waiting on him. I think he thought he was going to outrun me. But anyway, somehow I erased him. That's the first time I've ever done that. They're gone. Gone for good. It's not very crowded on the lake today. Usually it's packed. I mean, it's so big you can find a place to get away from the crowd. But if you wanted to chase boats, you could just hang around this bridge, and you'll see when I pan around, and you won't have to wait long for a boat. We've had a weird spring here in North Carolina. One day it'll be 50 degrees and the wind's blowing, and 3 days later 85, and it's summertime and humidity sky high. This morning, off in the distance, you can barely see them. There's a couple mountains. They're not really part of the Appalachian chain. That's kind of weird the way they just 2 sit off by themselves. They're not real tall. I think like 3,000 feet elevation. There's Kings Mountain. I forgot the name of the other one. But I'm just slowly starting to pan around here. It's about the 3rd or 4th take on the narration. Every time I got started, it seems like one of my pets would, either a cat would cry or the dog would wanted to go out or something. I'm just slowly panning around here. Like I said, 520 miles of shoreline. It's pretty massive. But there's so many coves. And usually this section right here, there's a lot of boats. But like I said, I guess the fog kept everybody away. The sun's supposed to come out probably about the time I get ready to leave here. It'll come out, no doubt. But you take what you can get. And give you an idea where I'm standing as we pan around here. That bridge to right there on the right with those buildings way off on the other side, that's where I'm at. Standing on a hill at a restaurant. And I'm starting to slowly come back. But like I said, I hope everybody's state's opening up and you're able to get out and go places that you've been wanting to go. And get that haircut you've been needing. Unless you had one of those girlfriend or wife haircuts. I've seen a few of those. And thanks a lot for stopping by the channel and taking a look. I will admit, I do not like editing. I love to fly. I love it. Editing, I don't particularly care to do. And I found the reason why when I erased those 4. Somehow I deleted, like I said, the original files. Just 4 boat chasing scenes that I cut down that were pretty cool. I'm going to have to go down there and make up for that. But like I said, there's hardly anybody here today. I mean, normally there'd just be boats constantly going underneath the bridge, back and forth, back and forth. Well, thanks a lot for stopping by my channel and taking a look at the video. Hoping to get out at the coast and film some boats on the coastal waterway and some other coastal shots that I've been wanting to do that haven't been able to do. Pretty good drive from where I'm at. It's about a 4-hour drive to the closest beach. But anyway, thanks a lot for taking a look at Lake Norman with me, and hope everybody's having a good weekend. Today's June 1st, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.